I'm Charlie Bride of Gold Derby, and I am speaking today with John Hoffman, the Oscar-nominated director, or one of the directors of the Oscar-nominated documentary short, "The Barber of Little Rock." Um, but something that I found is so fascinating about this movie and about your subject, Arlo Washington, is the fact that he is able to run his own community financial institution, but at the same time, he's also running another business of this barbering college. How is he able to balance those two responsibilities? Because that seems like a lot.
Yeah, well, Arlo, he's an entrepreneur. So he is, I wouldn't be surprised that Arlo opens up more businesses. He just is very compelled to build businesses and to see them thrive, and obviously to see his community thrive as well. But the Barber College has been around for a while. So, and his wife, Debony, is very instrumental in the running of the Barber College. His children work there when they're young. They get a training in having a job when they're young. So it's very much a family enterprise, and he has a great team. And the People Trust, the CDFI, the Community Development Financial Institution, this nonprofit loan fund that he created. Arlo has put together a group of women who are just outstanding. And so it gives Arlo the fact that both businesses are so well run, gives Arlo the chance to really do a lot of traveling, and to take a lot of meetings with big financial institutions that are necessary to him getting that essential capital to be circulating in his community.
So, how did you first hear about Arlo Washington? How did he first come on your radar?
Christine and I we wanted to make a film about the racial wealth gap, but what is the way in? What is the great story that we can tell, the human story that we can tell that enables us to bring to life the larger issues in a way that will really sort of change hearts and minds. And we came upon a book called The Color of Money, which is by a woman named Mercer Barber, which looks at the history of Black banking in this country since Reconstruction. And her research shows that it's just been a series of failure after failure after failure, not only of the banks, but the policies that led to how those banks were created. They just were not, they didn't have a chance to survive for very long. But Bill Clinton created the CDFI program, and Baradaran points to it as the only policy that she can find that has worked. Okay, so then someone points me to a conversation during COVID, a Zoom conversation between Bill Clinton and a woman named Donna Gambrell, who was the first director of the CDFI program in his presidency. And she was fantastic. And she's now the president of the National Association of Black Bankers. So we reached out to her. We had a wonderful Zoom conversation. We said, Donna, we want to embed. We want to bring cameras into one of these nonprofit loan funds, these high-touch financial institutions, and sort of follow the money. See how when people who have been cut out of the financial system, what happens when they do get access to capital? What happens when people who have not been able to get a loan for various historical reasons and structural reasons in our culture, when they do get access to that capital, how does it change their lives? What kind of business can they build? What kind of jobs can they create for other people? So she said, there's this guy in Little Rock. His name is Arlo Washington. He's a barber. He's got a barber college. And he has this shipping container in the parking lot of his barber college that he's made into his bank. And we're like, we got to meet this guy. So that's how we met Arlo, started Zooming with him. And he's a very charismatic guy. And we felt pretty quickly, we said, this guy's going to be a great documentary character.
What happenstance that he found this guy in Arkansas, where Bill Clinton, made his political career.
Total coincidence.
Yeah. Did you have any difficulty in getting some of the because we see some of the customers for the CDFI trying to get their applying for their loans or laying out their financial situations? Was there any difficulty in getting some of them to agree to have themselves shown on camera?
It's a very important question. I'm glad you asked it. Trust is the foundation of a documentary. You don't have a documentary unless you have trust relationships with the people that you're filming. So that all started with Arlo, and the trust that we were able to develop with him. And what would happen is that wherever Arlo would go, he would establish for us with his teams at the college, at the loan fund. But just as he went through Little Rock, wherever he's well known, and people really respect him. And so if this was something that Arlo was comfortable doing, then they would be comfortable. And that's how it began. It really, you are calling attention to people who often in the film these are people who are experiencing a lot of hardship in their life. And talking about money is something that people don't necessarily want to do in a public way. But we're very, we have a lot of gratitude for these people who are willing to let us film them.
Sort of piggybacking off of that, do you know if any of the if any of the people that are shown in the film have seen it, and if so, what was their reaction to it?
Perfect. That question, because the Clinton Library is having the Little Rock premiere screening of the film next week. And so what's just stunning to me is that I think the theater holds like 360 people and it's sold out. It's going to be full. There's a waiting list to get in. And so, everybody who's in the film, everybody who worked in the film, because there's a lot of local crew, will be there. So we're very excited.
One other thing that's very striking about the movie is the score that's done by, please correct me if I'm pronouncing his name incorrectly, but is it Yannick Bontemps?
Yeah, it's Yannick Bontemps.
Okay.
And so I'm glad that you like the score. We're really thrilled with his work. Christine nor I had worked with Yannick before, also known as JB. And he is, when we met him, he was splitting his time between Brooklyn and LA. Now he is just in LA because he's really breaking. He's doing some major films. So we're thrilled to see his career really just be taking off.
And what was it? What was the process like of getting of him composing that score, of getting that sound right for the movie?
It's different with composers working on documentaries. They all seem to have a different process. What Yannick wanted to do was he wanted some scenes. He wanted to get he watched a short sort of teaser we put together so he could understand who Arlo was, and he immediately signed on once he met Arlo. But we had enough sort of critical scenes roughed out that we could share with him, he wanted to use that as inspiration to develop some themes. He felt that Arlo, there should be a strong theme associated with Arlo. So when we started hearing them and reacting positively to them, then he developed, sort of a library of material that the editors could work with on the rough cut. And then he obviously did a fine tuning of his own work with fuller orchestrations and things like that. And it was pretty minimal in terms of how much contact we had with him. Again, this is this new age we're working in where we've not met him in person. It was all done virtually. And it's just remarkable that it actually seems to work. And audiences talk about the music. So people really are responding to it. It's wonderful.
And as I said at the beginning of this, the short has been nominated at the Oscars for Best Documentary Short Subject. Again, congratulations on that. What was it like on the morning of the announcement and finding out that you'd actually gotten nominated?
I don't think my brother's going to appreciate me saying this, but I was in the parking lot of a strip mall in Connecticut when my brother was getting his colonoscopy. Um, so when my phone is lighting up and I was able to send him a text just before they put the under anesthesia to say, I got nominated. And when I went to pick him up, all the nurses, as soon as they opened the door, they say, your brother's ready. They're like, congratulations. So I think that was a rather unique Oscar nomination story, but my phone was just like, once it happened. So it was wonderful.
And just one other thing that I thought was really interesting is that one of your, it's weird to use the term, one of your competitors is Sheila Nevins, who you've done a lot of work with through HBO. I believe all 4 of the Emmys that you've won, she was also a recipient in those categories as well. Is it weird to be nominated against someone that you worked so much, that you've worked so closely with in the past?
Sheila Nevins and I started working together in 1983. That's 40 years ago. Okay, so I was an executive at HBO working with Sheila for 17 years. So we have worked very closely together for very many years. So, but never in my wildest dreams did I think that Sheila would direct a film and I would direct a film, and the same year they would be nominated. But I'm very happy for her that she has the nomination, has a nomination as well. And it's just sort of like make your head go, this is crazy.
It's crazy, but it's a good kind of crazy. It's the kind of crazy that you welcome into your life.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much for speaking with us. We wish you all the best over the next couple of weeks. We know they're going to be very crazy for you. And to all of our viewers, please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to keep coming to goldderby.com to make your Oscar predictions in advance of the Oscars on March 10th. Thanks so much, John.
Thank you, Charlie. It's great what you do.